when we're not taking you out and doing all kinds of interesting things, we have to live a life. So that's what we're going to do today. It's a day in the life of truly remarkable life in Ajijic, Mexico. What do we really do in a day?
Don't talk to him till he's had his coffee. It's a real thing. Don't talk to him until he's had his coffee.
I'm not a morning person, but I'm awake. I made breakfast, and KJ usually makes breakfast. But I made breakfast today so we could have breakfast on the terrazza,
Which is normal.
the terrazza. Show you. Everybody likes the view. It's a beautiful blue day. So, what are we going to do today, KJ?
Right as I take a bite of my food, right?
I was a waiter at one point, so yeah, I catch you as you get your.
I have several plants that I need to get potted. I've got a lot of just business stuff, pay bills, research, just a lot of business stuff. So, plants.
So I have to get another video done, and so I've decided to make that a day in the life. So that's what we're going to do today. It's a day.
So I just put up a folding table so that I can start planting my plants. Craig says I need to cover it, but I have no idea how to do that.
We'll figure it out. Okay, happy planting. I'm going to go downstairs.
Okay.
Okay, so today I am going to be making gumbo for dinner tonight, and I don't want the house to be super hot, so I have set up, you can look over here and see, got a fan. I'm going to set up a second fan to get all the hot air out of the house. We have one upstairs blowing, pulling it up the stairs, and then this is going to be hot, but we didn't take into consideration the heat when we made dinner plans with somebody. So it'll be fun though. I like making the gumbo. It'll be a little warm, but we've got the fans and everything will be good. And I'm looking forward to dinner with our neighbor. His partner's out of town, so we know how that is, and we wanted to invite him over and break bread, as they say. So I'm gonna get to it. So I've kind of become famous for my gumbo down here. It's Chicken Sausage Gumbo. I started making it about 12 years ago when I met KJ. It's something he liked, and he didn't get very often, and so I taught myself to make it to impress him, and now it's one of my favorite dishes. So I'm gonna make it from scratch, and I'm not gonna reveal my recipe, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm letting my ingredients thaw. I have fresh vegetables, but they're from the freezer, because we go to the market, we prepare everything and kind of freeze it up, so it makes it a lot easier when we're cooking here. I love them before they're frozen, but these ingredients actually freeze fairly well. And if you know anything about gumbo, you know the base is green pepper, celery, and onions. And so I keep them stocked. And then I also use okra in mine, which cooks down, and I throw in a little red pepper for color, which isn't in the original recipe, but it doesn't change the flavor. So I like the color. And I'll show you, just bags of frozen vegetables. We do keep fresh vegetables as well, but these are for cooking and for preparation. So it's very helpful. It's starting to get hot. I told you it was going to be hot up there.
And dirty.
Ooh, let's go look at your plants. So KJ, as anyone who has followed us for a long time knows, has a plant obsession. And he had an opportunity to get some plants that someone was pulling out to redo their landscaping. So now, where my carport is full, he went yesterday with a friend to get some pots, and he's upstairs now doing all of that on the terrazza. If you can see, he's kind of sweaty and hot.
Dirty.
More dirt.
More cactus sand.
Yeah, and all of this has to go up there.
Well, I'm only planting 3 of them upstairs, and it's because they're very big and they're very thorny.
And you're gonna do the rest down here.
And I don't want to try to I didn't want to do them down here and have to deal with all those thorns trying to carry a full pot.
Understood. Ale's what cures you. It's our shirt from Oregon. We both have them on today. Hi to our friends who were in Oregon. They're not anymore, but anyway, we're back to cooking. So anytime I make gumbo or anything, I like to prep all of my ingredients, but the big thing to gumbo is pre-cooking or pre-preparing a lot of the things, for me anyway, the way that I make it. So I've got the chicken boiling in the stock. I will then prepare that, cook it up. I've got the sausage cooked. I've got the all the veggies ready to go for my trifecta, or Holy Trinity as some people call it. And I have everything setting out and ready to go, because when you start making the roux for this, you have to do nothing else for like 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how good you are at making roux. So I try to prepare everything and get it all ready. That way when you combine everything, it's good to go. And it really adds a lot of layers of flavor to what you're making. So I don't mind showing you the ingredients, but my process is my process, and it's not that I don't like to share it, it's that I don't know how, because the way I do it, I don't measure, I don't do anything, I just know. So, sorry, this isn't a recipe video. So I prefer to use like whole chicken, roasted chicken, something like that, but this is what I got right now. So it doesn't make that big of a difference in the flavor. The chicken itself might not be as tender, or there might be a layer of flavor missing, but I know how to compensate. So I'm using chicken breasts today, but they do go into the grease from the sausage. So there's nothing healthy about chicken and sausage gumbo. Just FYI. Almost ready. A little darker. I like to try to push it a little bit. Start smoking. I go by smell. I know what it smells like when it's done.
We lost power.
Oh!
We got power back. Welcome
Give it a minute.
Welcome to Ajijic.
Oh, there it goes again.
It's the midday power fluctuations brought to you by
May, the month of May.
the month of May.
And it's back. But I have a propane oven, so everything's still cooking. Maybe I should reduce some of my fans so my neighbors have electricity. This is the important thing. So it's really important for me as I cook. If you look here, I clean as I go. So when I'm making gumbo, the little pauses while something's cooking, I clean up. Because if you don't, you'll have an entire kitchen full of dishes because you have so many different components to this. But you saw that I made the roux, and basically the roux took about 20 minutes for me. I've gotten used to how to do the heat and fluctuate the heat and how to stir constantly and what spoon to use and all of those things. And it makes it a nice chocolatey brown. And once you get it that nice chocolatey brown, you put your trifecta in there and let it steam. You stir it up and you let it steam for a few minutes. And then you can start adding in your broth and your meats and those types of things. That roux is what gives it the amazing flavor. So I suggest to anybody, look up your recipe online and don't worry about exact measurements when you're making gumbo. Worry about proportions and worry about learning how to make the roux and preparing all of your stuff and ahead of time, having it all out and all ready, because you don't have a minute to waste to forget something when you start the roux. You get this nice mush, and you go ahead and scrape off all that stuff on the bottom because that's what gives you the good flavor. You don't worry about that. But you can see this is nice and mushy. We're going to let it go about 10 more minutes, or about 5 more minutes. About 5 more minutes, and then I'll start building the whole stew, the whole soup, so the gumbo. But that roux gives it the thickness. I like to put okra in it because from the very beginning, because it'll cook down, you won't even know it's in there. It will disappear almost, and that is a thickening agent as well. So I don't have to use as much flour. I still need to use the flour. You can use other things, and I have done that successfully with almond powder. It does change the flavor a little bit. And if you use okra and boil it down in your stock beforehand, you don't have to use the roux, but it will taste different. You're making a completely different version of gumbo. You're making a low-carb version of gumbo. Your flavors can be similar. Your consistency will be different. But, I've learned how to still enjoy it and not have the carbs. We're making this for a guest, and I've been doing really well on carbs lately, so I can afford a little bit. And it's not much, and there's a lot of meat in there to balance it out, so meat and veggies. And then you add a little stock, and you stir it up. You let that heat back up again. The heat is very important, and as you add cooled down ingredients, it brings the heat down. So you need to make sure you're keeping the heat up and at a consistent place, and so sometimes that requires just cooking. I'm going to take my chicken and sausage and pour it all in, mix it up. We're going to let this stir a little bit too. We like to see how it cooks down before I add the rest of the stock, get the flavor right. The extra stock can always be used later if we have too much. And here is where the bad comments come in. I add stewed tomatoes, which are our own creation. KJ makes them. And it adds a layer of flavor that I really like, and it makes it my own recipe. So stir that up, and you're going to let that heat back up again. Okay, one more update on the gumbo. Gumbo is gumboing. Dishes are done, man. Let's go see what KJ's doing. Hey, KJ.
Hey,
The Remarkable Lifers wanted to know what you're doing.
I'm done.
What?
I'm done.
Oh, you've been working your butt off.
Yes, I have. I wanted to get done. I wanted to get it done before the real bad afternoon heat sets in.
Well, just FYI, the gumbo is gumboing.
Gumbling?
Gumboing.
Gumboing.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're good on the gumbo. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So these came from...
So these came from a friend of a friend who's now a friend.
That's how it works here.
Yeah, she I think they own their own house, but they were redoing all of their gardens, and so they had some bigger plants that they wanted to get rid of. And so I went over there yesterday and dug them up and bought pots, and this is one of them. I love that.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like agave, but I don't think
I saw
it
a baby
is.
one at the Vivo Road. It was like this big. It's itty bitty.
Find out what it is.
Mariana told me, she was like, you know that big thing you got? And I'm like, yeah, she goes, that's the little one. And then
This is really neat too.
this.
Ooh,
is really
ooh,
cool.
the tiles are hot.
It's very, very, very sticky.
Oh, I don't have shoes on. Hold on. I'm filming you from the shade because of it's too hot on my feet.
I tell you to wear flip-flops and you won't do it.
I know, I'm sorry.
But there's this, and then I replanted, these were little babies. And I planted those in the
Oh.
pot. And they'll turn into that, and then I kind of
That's
reorganized.
this over here.
I kind of reorganized this and created this little corner, and this is new.
It looks like some sort of plumeria or something, but I don't
I think they're
it
related,
is.
but it's not a plumeria. I can't remember the name of it, but and then that's the little roadside cactus that we picked up when we were at the Wednesday market.
And this is a
I'm gonna
crown
see
of
if that works.
thorns.
That's a crown of thorns. I'm gonna see if that takes. The other two haven't made it.
Yeah, they didn't survive.
No, they didn't survive. So I'm gonna see if that one does.
Let's look at KJ's other stat over here. So he's got all kinds of baby starts. We had to get a shelf for them, and then lots of things. There's an aloe somewhere in there, and
There's
some
several
different-
aloes over here.
and some different starts.
This is stuff that's in process. I think the sun is getting. I think in May the sun is too much right here.
Yeah, we need
It's
a tarp.
even baking the cactuses. I need to.
Yeah, we need a tarp or something over this, but I don't want to block the view. Look at that. So it's midday, and this gets very hot out here under this, but we do have an overhang, so it's nice. So a lot of the stuff that gets baked is over here, and the stuff that can handle sun and gets put over here.
And this is like me putting these things out here. This is kind of a test to see if they handle the direct full sun, which I'm hoping they will. They seem like the kind of plants there. It seems like they will, but
Yeah.
we'll find out. And if not, they'll end up over here.
Yeah. KJ Shangri-La. So a lot of these came from a friend who he's got a plant buddy down the street who
Right
gives
after
him
we
starts.
moved in, right after we moved in, she started bringing me little baby starts.
And when he gets starts, he gives them to her, and So this has all happened in 6 months.
It's a big plant sharing community.
It is.
I mean, I've looked. A lot of the plants around here have come from multiple sources, multiple friends.
And he's learning a lot about succulents and all of that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your Shangri-La. Okay, so the gumbo is gumboing on very, very low simmer. It's about 2.5 hours later. It needs another about a half hour. So KJ is showering, and I am going to take a siesta. And then I'll get up and turn my gumbo off, and everything will be done. And then I'm sure I've got more to do, but it's nice. It's the hot part of the day, so about noon, it really starts to heat up. The house starts to heat up, and you don't feel like really doing anything. So this is when we rest.
Baby, your gumbo's so good. Gumbo just for me.
What you doing?
I was just getting ready to pay bills.
Cool. So you're just going to chill and pay bills.
Well, not chill.
Well, I'm probably going to go upstairs and upload some videos.
Okay.
So, KJ, you're on one of those sites that only has fans. Shame on you.
But it's so hot here, we need more fans.
I know, they're hot. It's hot.
It is very hot. We need more fans.
It's one of those sites that...
Look. Fans.
What they sell is only fans.
Look at this.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's a big fan.
That is nice.
That's a
Okay.
That is a top-notch fan.
That really is. We shouldn't have this on camera. Okay, so I'm in my office. I'm going to go ahead and get started uploading some videos and stuff off of my phone. Try to maybe get one started. Spend a couple hours doing that. And then we have somebody coming for dinner tonight. So I don't know if I can show that because not everybody wants to be on camera. But that's what the gumbo is for. And then we'll update you after. So I'm going to probably go away. You don't want to watch me for like 2 hours. That wouldn't be very much fun. Hey, y'all. Okay, so it's a couple hours later. I went ahead and got showered and cleaned up. KJ has been taking care of some business. And so now we're both just kind of resting. It's like not really doing anything. It's about 6:30 p.m. And the weather has turned. It's cooled off. It's been like a heat wave for the last couple of weeks. It's been the worst, probably the worst part of the year for heat. But look at this. Clouds. And it was windy, and so we're kind of enjoying that. But we're waiting to see if our friend's going to make it to dinner. No big deal if he doesn't. We make this all the time, so and he works a lot. So we're going to chill out, and hopefully we'll have a visitor. And if not, we'll just watch some TV and have some gumbo.